We're staying on top of a story that is going viral. A Citrus County teacher kicked out of the classroom. The school district found out she was hosting a podcast under a fake name. In those broadcasts, among other things, Diana Volatich said science has proved some races are smarter than others. But she said her comments were satire and meant to help build an audience. Phil Buck has been looking into her background just a little bit more. And you also looked into some other things that she has been saying online. What are some of the things that you found?
She said quite a bit online, actually. And what I was really interested in was finding out more about what she's teaching kids in the classroom, because I think that's what parents are so concerned about. It's one thing to have these views yourself. It's very different, though, if you're bringing those views into your teaching. So I found a few interviews that she's done on some podcasts and some YouTube channels. Here she is on what's called the Resistance podcast.
I'm not one of those people that's pushing my beliefs. If the kids asked my opinion about something, I would give it. Like, we had the 2016 election was this school year, and I can't tell you how many times my students would ask me who I voted for. And I said, I'm not going to tell you who I voted for.
I'm not going to walk down that path.
Because if I go that way, then we're in big trouble, and I can get in serious trouble with my administrators. And I was like, but if you can figure out who I voted for, you can put the name in this basket on my desk, and we'll see how many of you have figured it out. Like, if you can use logic and pay attention to the things that I believe when we have discussions, if you can figure it out, then I will give your class a reward at the end of the election, if you guessed correctly. And they all got it right, which was extremely gratifying for me.
Okay, she says she's not pushing her beliefs onto students, but then she talks about the fact that she's excited when they figure out who she voted for.
All of them figured it out, right? And these are middle school kids. So that was very telling. Here's one I found even more telling. It was from what's called the 27 Crows Radio. The host is named Bree Fauchot, and she is very active in the alt-right community. And here we hear Volatich talk about red pilling her students. And if you're not familiar with it, the term red pill is an alt-right term. And they use it to talk about what they see as maybe an awakening against a lot of leftist ideologies. In particular, it involves a lot of like anti-feminism, but it's a lot more than that. And here she is talking about this.
Now, what's it like being a teacher? I know the education system is infested with liberalism, isn't it?
It is. It's very socialist in nature, our education system. I don't think that's a secret to anyone at this point. But being a teacher in the public school system has been trying my patience, that's for sure. An uphill battle, that's for sure. Because the administration, a lot of the other teachers, and just the culture of schools is just so anti red pilling. Like, they don't want these kids to know this stuff. They want to keep them pretty docile and ignorant of how things are supposed to work.
She's definitely active under that pseudonym. But what about the guests that she had on? What do we know about her? What have we been able to learn about her?
Well, the last guest she had, the last week's podcast, which is the one that got her in so much trouble, her name is Lana Loktev, and she is actually on the Southern Poverty Law Center's radar. They list her website as a white nationalist hate group. And she's also been on Fauchot's podcast as well, the one that we just saw. And another little indicator of where this middle school teacher's political views align when you start connecting all of these dots.
All right. Certainly there is a lot more to this story. There is an investigation underway. Again, she has been removed from the classroom. We know you're going to stay on top of this.
Absolutely.
All right, Phil, thanks.